I'm Becky Sprinkle. This is my good friend Marty Mundy, and he's an amazing fiddle player, and he lets me play along, so I'm really very privileged to be here. We're going to help you understand a little bit about the Civil War and its effect on our county, our families, our country. And again, we're very glad to be here. Our first song, I'm going to let Marty introduce.
Well, this is an old fiddle tune from the Revolutionary War and the Civil War, and it's a happy tune, it's a dance tune, which most fiddle tunes are, but this one has a ulterior motive, I could say, and I was gonna ask Becky do you remember the lyrics to that first line of this tune?
Oh, I don't think so. Gosh, I don't think so.
About the leg for turning green.
Oh, give me some of that soldier's joy. You know what I mean. I don't want to hurt no more. My leg is turning green. Pretty grim.
Yeah, so
soldier's joy is not what you thought it was.
soldier's joy.
Searching for songs about the Civil War, we found that, of course, all of them are sad, and there are so many more from the South than from the North. But we picked out a few of our favorites here, and of course, they should be sad songs. Our nation has never experienced anything quite so awful as families fighting against families, and soldiers dying in fields and no one could help, and even brothers fighting against brothers. So, of course, they would be sad songs, so get ready. I hope you took your Prozac or something, because get ready, because it could be, it's a little difficult. But they are beautiful songs, and they help us to never forget. This next song, you're going to recognize the beginning and the end for sure. And that's in A, right? Got it. In the year 64, we were fighting a war for a reason that we hardly knew. Many tears had been shed, many loved ones left dead in the fight between the gray and the blue. I recall that a lad to his mother and dad said goodbye at the old garden gate. Then I heard mother say, son, we'll watch and we'll pray. If it takes you forever, we'll wait. When they carry me back on that long southern track, I hope you will answer my plea. When they lower me down in that sweet Georgia ground, Have someone play Dixie for me. With a rose on his chest, we fulfilled his last request. What God gave us, he's taken away. But his battle is won, and his song it is sung, while the tune to Sweet Dixie did play. When they carry me back on that long southern track, I hope you will answer my plea. When they lower me down in that sweet Georgia ground, have someone play Dixie for me. When they lower me down in that sweet Georgia ground, have someone play Dixie for me. The next song is titled The Last Day at Gettysburg. Very fitting. And he can be my Abraham Lincoln anytime he wants to. He did a great job. The gray smoke from the battle came rolling over the hill. The fires, the dead, and the dying are burned in my memory still. Oh, can't you hear that angel band singing, "Come home, soldiers, to the promised land." Oh, Longstreet stole away and cried when Lee gave the order to attack. For he knew in his mind's eye that none of his boys were coming back. Oh, can't you hear that angel band singing, "Come home, soldier, to the promised land." Oh, Willie Jones and me, two rebel boys from Tennessee. As Willie lay there dying, he whispered these words to me. Oh, can't you hear that angel band singing, "Come home, soldier, to the promised land"? Oh, to tell you also that as we were looking for songs for the Civil War, we found out we both had ancestors in the Civil War, and unbelievably, they were both in the Andersonville prison in Georgia. My great-grandfather, Christopher Columbus Salmon, died along with 13,000 other soldiers in the prison at Andersonville. And Marty also has a story about his ancestor.
Well, they were, of course, your ancestor didn't make it out of Hendersonville. He died in there, and my great-grandfather, which is Richard Burton, which there's a lot of Burtons in Orange County, and he got out after 2 months and survived and had problems the rest of his life. And they all go back, all the Burtons go back to John Pleasant Burton, who was in the Civil War, or the Revolutionary War, pardon me. And he's buried at Burton Gap Cemetery near Mitchell, standing up with a jug of whiskey in one hand and a pistol in the other.
Well, gosh, I'm jealous.
So,
Well, and here's another part of an irony from my great-great-grandfather. He was new to the United States. He was an immigrant with 7 children and a wife, and he barely spoke English, and his wife spoke no English, and they were from Branchville, Indiana. There was a wealthy man in Branchville, Indiana named George Miller, and George paid Christopher Columbus Salmon to go to the Civil War and fight in his place. I didn't know that was ever allowed, but he did pay him. And the ironic part of this is the granddaughter of Christopher Columbus Salmon and the grandson of George Miller married, and their child was my mother. So the Civil War meant a lot to her, and she researched my great-great-grandfather and got his Purple Heart a few years ago, and also was able to have a monument erected in the Branchville Cemetery in his honor. So again, this is kind of our favorite tribute to the Civil War song that we're going to do in honor of our ancestors. It's called Ashokan Farewell. Well, we told you we found mostly Southern songs, but I did know of a Northern song, the Union song that my dad and uncle used to sing, and so we did come up with this one. It's in G. It's called Faded Coat of Blue. My gallant lad lies sleeping in his faded coat of blue. In a cold and lonely grave lies a heart that beats so true. For he fell faint and hungry among his comrades brave, and they laid him sad and lonely in a nameless southern grave. No more the bugle calls the weary one. Rest, noble spirit, in a great unknown. We may find you and know you among the good and true, when a robe of white is given for the faded coat of blue. When a robe of white is given for his faded coat of blue. Our next song is Marty's going to introduce. It's called Lorena.
This is, it was sang a lot in the southern camps, from what I know about it, until they banned it because it was making men desert, because they made them real homesick. It's called Lorena.
Slowly by Lorena, the snow is on the grass again, the sun is sinking low. Lorena, cross is where the flowers have been. Well, we did want to end with one last song that actually became a victory song for the Union Army. And we'd like for you, we're going to play it a couple times, sing a verse, and we'd like for you to sing along with us on the last two choruses, because I know everyone in the room knows it. A young lady went to a Union camp to pray with the soldiers in 1863. And she went home and wrote this song for those soldiers. And it's uplifting and very fitting that it's uplifting because it was the end of the conflict and it was the end of us fighting each other. And the name of it is the Battle Hymn of the Republic.
Where the grapes have wrapped their store, he hath loosed the fateful lightning of his terrible victor. His truth is marching on. Please sing. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. Please stand and sing with us. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory.